Welcome to This Commerce Life. We are an unscripted podcast dedicated to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the retail and consumer packaged goods space in Canada and the United States.
I am Phil Chang, co-host and co-founder.
And I'm Kenny Vanucci, co-host and co-founder of This Commerce Life.
Our love is the journey to retail, and our passion is sharing that with you every week.
That's fine, not a problem.
I was working with somebody on a marketing campaign and just lost track of time.
I just texted you because I didn't know if we were doing this still or not. So
yeah, we're doing this.
Well,
we're doing this. Penny, it's your favorite topic. It is your favorite topic of all time. I already warned Deepak about you.
Oh,
you know,
Amazon.
Because
Amazon.
Yeah. So I met Deepak through Brian, at Pleasure Pods, and he had nothing but amazing things to say about Deepak. Like
this is Brian's Deepak.
This is
Brian's
Deepak.
Yes. He doesn't shut up about you.
Cannot stop talking about you.
Oh my Lord, he's like this non-stop.
Like Deb, if you're listening to this, I think you should be a little worried. Brian's a little obsessed with Deepak. So, yeah. Anyway, so Deepak and I had a wonderful conversation last week just to get to know each other. Or I guess like 3 weeks ago now.
Right. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Last month and probably 3 weeks ago. Yeah, wow. I'm pretty excited for this one.
That's really cool. I wasn't too sure if you were one of Phil's either students or one of the kids from the school. And then when and the name didn't click with me, and oh my God, Brian doesn't shut up about you.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is my first podcast.
All right. Awesome. No better place to do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, we love it. We love it. So for the audience who's listening, because we already started Deepak, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay.
But for the audience listening, so you've heard a little bit is we know Deepak from Brian at Pleasure Pods, who you guys know that we love. And Brian loves Deepak, which means we already love Deepak. But I had a chance to talk to Deepak, and I love him even more. So I'm gonna let Deepak introduce himself in a second. But how we got on this journey was Brian had said to me many moons ago, do you know Amazon? I'm having Amazon problems. And I kind of I make the face that this is an audio podcast, so nobody will see the face that I make, but I always make the same face because I don't really like Amazon. I don't mind buying things from them, but I don't really like dealing with them. I find all the robots really bother me. And then it's kind of like this. It always feels like an endless stream of tickets and an endless stream of conversations that kind of go round and round and round and round. So if you are a brand person, you're a retailer, and you feel like that, you should definitely listen to this podcast in its whole, because I think, Brian, at one point he came back to me and I thought, God, he's going to ask me to Amazon, and I still don't want to do it. And then he said to me, I found the guy. Is actually what Brian said to me. He said, I found the guy. And I said, you found what guy? And he said, I found the guy. He's fixing my Amazon and it is fucking great. And I was like, tell me more, right? Tell me more. And he said, his name's Deepak. You have to meet him. He's fucking amazing. And then I think he got a little nervous because I said, oh yeah, because I know people, that also need Deepak. Could you please share? And then he disappeared for a little while. So I think he didn't want to share for a little bit.
Want to share you. That's pretty clear. That's pretty clear. You scared him, Phil. Lucky we got him on the podcast.
I think I did. Because I got really excited. I got really, really excited. So if you're listening, I'm going to shut up now. But so Deepak, so this is kind of like we're going to get you to tell us about you, who you are, what your journey is, how you became the master of Amazon. I think that's what we're going to call you, the master of Amazon.
Thanks.
Or an Amazon master, I think. Anyway, we'll figure out a cool
Whichever.
title for you. But it's kind of your show. Next 40-45 minutes is yours, and then we'll definitely jump in with questions. And Kenny will definitely freak out at some point and start yelling about Amazon.
I'm not going to yell. I'm going to be very calm today.
We'll keep him.
Yeah. We'll try to keep the honest conversation for sure. Thanks, Bill and Kenny, for this opportunity. It's a great opportunity for me, and this is my first podcast. That's why I'm very excited for. I just want to share. Yeah. I just want to share something. So before I do, I just want to introduce myself. So I'm Deepak Patel. So I landed in Canada in 2019. So probably my journey started with the e-commerce in 2013.
Okay.
When I drop out my college, I was like, I cannot do maths. I cannot do that things in my life. I just want to do something different over there. And that's how I landed to eBay. But never started with Amazon. I started with eBay. So within the back home, I was the top 10 beginner kind of, the young sellers within the same category. And I was selling top and doing good. And suddenly within a day, my account got boom. You're done. You cannot sell. Your account is restricted. You are done. And that's exactly strike me that I put in all my eggs within the same basket. Like I've done, I had the experience of listing, getting sales, but I was not having the experience how you manage your business, how you can make it more structured way. So if you lose somewhere, you have something over there, you the cash flows and over there. And then I jump into the Amazon. I'm like, Amazon is not something it's gonna do with me. But eventually working with Amazon, I found out it's not gonna do something deactivating the account, but there are a lot of deal breakers you have to go through, a lot of stones in between you have to go through with that. And that's exactly I started working with Amazon, with the different category, with the brands. And then I landed to Canada. I started working for the skincare companies. It was an amazing experience where I was managing the Amazon project, and then also working with the chewing gum categories, then fashion categories. And then I met Brian. And that's exactly, I feel like it's my own brand, the Pleasure Pods, because it's a different products out of it. It's like something creating a new category on Amazon, educate your customer. They're like shocked when they see the products. I'm sure I can feel physically, like, I feel the digital data and see that they're shocked. What is this? What exactly the product is all about? I've never seen such kind of product over there on Amazon. But yeah, this is something I get the right platform to share with the new sellers. Basically, this is something I'm going to relate all the new sellers, not those who are established. But I think so the new sellers having the really hard time. It's not because the Amazon is a hard platform. It's just because the expectation, the understanding the Amazon where they're working with agency or any of them is quite different than they ever thought about that. So I would like to explain that, and I just wanted to share my thoughts. Maybe that helps you to, when you're working with agency, when you're working with your team, how you can expect from the Amazon. So basically, I just want to come with the first topic is like high competition. Like, when you see the Amazon, it's becoming a very high competitive market right now. Even when you compare it before the COVID, like I still remember in 2018, I was working with a client. When you put on some of the keywords, when you're doing really good titles, bullets, pictures, A+ content, boom, you're gonna show up on the second page, then first page, and you have that particular platform. You're confident I'm gonna work. But now after COVID, the tags and the tools and millions of people are selling the same products. Thousands of people are selling the same products. It becomes very difficult to organically get them to the first page. You have to do a lot of stuff differently. You're looking out of the box nowadays. So it's quite a difference. So what I see, if you remember, I think so in 2023 September, I think the FTC sued Amazon. There was something regarding the buy box issue. So what is happening is what I know about that. Like if you're selling a $10 product on Amazon, versus you're selling $9 the same product on your own website. So here's the catch. Amazon is saying, I don't like you because you're selling a lower price rate than what you should be on Amazon. That shows that Amazon is definitely more thinking about the buyers. That's the number one rule for the business. I agree. I respect that. Second is it's less thinking about the seller experience, but more thinking about their own profitability nowadays. That's what I've seen, that they're like, I want money. Wherever it's a one seller, second seller, established, non-seller, I don't care. I want that. I've seen that and experienced that in my particular life. So that is something what I've seen, like what was the issue if you're selling at $9 to other website, which is cheaper, Amazon gonna kick you out from buy box. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep you on the buy box. And if you are if you are the brand owner, if you're only person who are selling the items, you are done gated, they're like, okay, I think so in 2021, Amazons are not allowed to penalize your listing if you are selling the lower rate to other your own website or whatever.
Right.
Indirectly, they can lower your ranking. They're like, okay, I have another way, the white way. I'm not gonna go for the black way, just not to penalize. That is something what I've seen the sellers are facing. They're like, they have to go with the prime tag. So they have to do the FBA stuff. They're like, if I don't do FBA, there's no way I can get the prime tag. There is another way, but you have to go with a lot of expectation doing the fast shipping, and you have to go with that. And if I'm not doing the FBA, there's less likely I'm get that buy box, or less likely I'm get the customer. So I want the customer on Amazon, but side by side, I also want the customer on my own website. So this is what I've seen when any of the client that really wanted to talk with me. I always have a conversation, first conversation. What is your expectation? What you're planning? What you want to do? Because I've seen a lot of things. The sellers do mistake. They have the mistake when they have the journey, when they work with the agency. And the biggest mistake I've seen is fundamentals. For an example, I'm launching one product. I've seen the client, they're talking about, I'm spending $5,000 into a PPC, I'm spending $3,000 a month. Why I'm not getting the sales? Why I'm not getting $1? I want to spend $1, I want to get $2 sales. So that is something I always take that pitch, and I always talk before looking into the data with the PPC. It is very important to look at your listing, because that is the fundamental. Because in a digital market, you cannot talk to your customer. You have to talk in a digital way. So you have to show your product. That is the most important. You have to show your graphics, the images, all the secondary images, the features, whatever the product is all about. You have to come up with the titles. That is also mobile oriented. I've seen a lot of clients, they are saying, I must put 200 characters over that. I'm like, there's no thumb rules, because with the Amazon, I never seen something like, if you heard about the 8-10 algorithm, there's nothing like a 8-10 algorithm. It's just created by the community, because Amazon never be a transparent about the algorithms. They never reveal the secret, because you have to crack it down, and there is no correct thing ever. Also, when someone says you do this trick, it's going to work you. I'm telling you, they don't get the result. You do this trick, it never works. Trust me. The reason is, when you work on it, you understand is you have to do your fundamentals. So that is something you have to come your listing, a right title, a good bullet points. I've seen a lot of sellers having a bunch of bullet points, having a lot of content. Like, just tell me, when you ever been shopping on Amazon, how much time you spend reading all that stuff, A+ content, all the bullets? No, a very
little content you never even go to half the time. I want to type in the word. I want to find it fast.
Yes.
I want to see a good picture, so I don't think it's a piece of shit that I'm buying. Ideally, if the picture, it's, maybe I got 5 or 6 iterations where front, back, side, maybe you show me how to use it. Like that, I'll do the visuals, but I don't do a lot of the reading. Like, to your point, I don't read through A+ pages. I'm not, that's like going to a web page. I would have already done that.
Exactly. And that's right. And that's exactly what I look at the A++ more when I'm working for some of the client. But as a buyer, as a seller, I don't even look at the A+. I do, because sometimes I've seen a lot of people have the same copy of the images into the A+ content, or little bit. It's the same thing you're doing. So when someone is going to your listing, what they're going to do? They're going to read your title. That's but obvious. After reading the title and looking at your first image, they have clicked on it. But once they are into your listing, they're going to check your bullets, top bullets, 1 or 2 or 3, because it has to be a short. And most important, like how you're communicating with the client. You should not look in the sense of how I rank on top. You should think as a sense of how you communicate with your client. You should have a step-to-step that particular thing. And the third thing I think so I look at is most about the reviews. When you click on the reviews, it directly goes into the top bottom page of your product. So you see, when it goes to the top, it skips the A+ content area right away. Then sometimes you scroll up and you find the last A+ content banner. So that's why I was doing some A/B testing to putting the last A+ content banner. I have a very effective, but I just want to see, because no one is going to look at the first at the start. They're going to check on the reviews, and they're going to go up from down to bottom to up. And that's exactly what I find. So what I'm trying to say is, like, working on the fundamentals, that is the most easiest and most important way when you're working with the Amazon, like for a longer success over there. Now, I've seen one of the most mistakes the sellers have done. They spend too much on the advertisement. Like, they're like, okay, being in the Amazon industry from last 10 years, I can tell you honestly, it is very easy to get traffic to your listing. I'm repeating,
Can we,
it is.
sorry, can I just pause for a second? Because I think
Yeah,
before
no
we get
problem.
into advertising, can we just go
Uh,
back?
Okay,
Because I
for
think
sure.
you like
Mhm.
you're killing me, because I think in the last 16 minutes you've dropped more Amazon knowledge than most people
I
know.
seriously, I'm
So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with Phil on this one.
sorry.
Let me go one thing.
No. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. It's not you. It's us, and I think part of our audience is also going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, let me do one
Yeah.
thing. So one of the things you said that sort of frustrates me, for lack of a better, is I have a web page and I want to do
Okay.
my own e-com.
Right.
I also know that I in many ways need to be on Amazon, right?
Yep.
Because Amazon is a large search engine that has a
Right.
beautiful back end that could you purchase from, which is really cool. Google's a great
Right.
search engine, but really I can't purchase per se. But Amazon is my search engine of purchase. The
Yes.
problem I have with it, and I guess this is what I want to understand it as well, is I have a web page because the margins are mine. It's a whole different experience. But if I've got the guy that I'm trying to use who's got the largest audience, but he's mad at me because I'm trying to sell on my webpage for $1 less or 50 cents less or the same price.
Mhm.
Like, how do I manage how do I work around this? Because what am I doing on Amazon at that point? I can't get enough traffic to my webpage because I only sell one thing. Let's say it's Brian. All I sell is pleasure
Right.
rods.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
So I go to Amazon because now there's other sexual health items there. There's a category. People are looking for different things. So I'm saying I need to be here because it's like a big store and it's
Right.
got great search. But if they don't like me because of something I'm doing on my webpage, which is doing this much business anyway, like who gives a shit? Like how do
Right.
I work around that? You know what I
Yes,
mean?
exactly. I got your point. Yeah, definitely, I got your point. So in this particular case, when you see you want to be, because what I think, when you are launching a business, so you should be on every platform. It's not only on Amazon, because for an example, Amazon is something that people come first. It's a most shoppable platform. You have the intention of shopping
100%.
something.
That's why you're
100,
there.
110%. When someone is going to Google, they have an intention for the information. It's not more of the commercial, more of the shoppable things. When they are coming to your website, it's more of the branding stuff. They want to understand our branding. So definitely your aim should be always there on Amazon. So what I am trying to say is something like some you don't really need to spend on a lot into over there before you understanding your fundamentals over there. Like, this is something I will list it on Amazon. I'm good with my titles and everything, and versus your web page. So it's not about you remove yourself, you kick out yourself from Amazon. You really wanted to go with that particular things, but Amazon. But I'm saying that something like you should always also focus on your own platform, which is something you have a control over it. For an example, if 100 people are buying stuff on Amazon versus only 10 people are buying stuff on Shopify, I've seen the Amazon should not even fight with that particular thing, which is quite a very low attempt of what they are getting the profit on. But still on Shopify, you have that context, you have that control, you can connect with them, you have the
Connect
database.
with the person, right? That's my
Yeah,
customer.
that's your customer. That's not going to go with that particular part. That's not going to go where you can do the email marketing, you can do a lot of stuff with them. You can provide a discount, say they can again and everything over there. While within the Amazon, that's control is over the Amazon. It's not from your side. You have the automation to send them, hey, I want to get the reviews over that. But yeah, that's exactly what I see within the Amazon is a long-term game. That's exactly when the seller really wanted to launch on Amazon. The expectation is quite like, I wanted to pull up the profit as much as possible, which is quite a low expectation you're going to get from Amazon. The reason is Amazon algorithm is something, an Amazon platform, when I see the competition, is designed in such a way they're giving the priority to the new sellers when you do the PPC and everything. But it's something like you really don't want it to go for something which is not converting, which is not you're getting the traffic. That's why I always say, like, getting the traffic is quite easy. but getting the click-through rate, someone's clicking to your products, which come to the main image and converting that, it's quite difficult, because that is something you have to deal break it. That is something you have to learn from it. So before that, pertaining to, like jumping into the advertising part, I think so this is the most important things. Most of the sellers, they neglect into that. But yeah, I come to your question, like when you see your own platform versus Amazon, I think so, Phil, we were talking about last time. When I was started working with the brand, the brand was having a lot of issue. Like, the listing was not exactly the same brand name, which is he registered what. So what is happening, if your brand name is not matching with your listing brand name, you cannot create the A+ content. You cannot claim that is your listing. You cannot have the gating. You cannot restrict your AC. So what happened, I try to reach out to the community manager. I create the cases within the seller center. I create the cases within the branches. Nothing. They're gonna keep you a same reply that this is not possible. You're changing the brand name. You're changing the brand name. I struggle almost 1 month continuously. I'm like, I'm gonna get to it at any cost. I'm gonna
make
change.
us feel better. Even the
Yeah.
smart guy struggles with Amazon.
Well, it's just so frustrating, right? It just, because you know what it feels? It feels like you just can't win.
Yeah, you just can't win. It feels like, and that is what I'm saying, the most of the people, like, they just give up. Like, even I'm going to share the file with you, like my community forum communications. It's a long communication of having the 30 or 40 messages. I'm reaching to every community forum manager, like, hey, I need help. I'm not able to change the brand name, because if I'm not able to, I don't want to waste all the reviews with the AC. First. Second, I don't want to go for the new UPC code registration. Third, I don't want to do the new ACs and everything, because brand have worked a lot of things from last 6 months. So what I did, it's come to my mind, like I was sleeping, I was checking what I can do something differently. Then I went to brand registry. I just had a short conversation. I just tell the brand registry people, hey, I'm just trying to change the brand name. It's been a very long time. I'm not able to get it done. Can you please help me? I got the response, same, you cannot do it. Okay. After a second day, I created another and they told me, if you create another ticket, we might restrict your account. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop, because I'm very much sure about that. This is possible way. You need to push that up. So what I created another ticket. I said, I don't want to change the brand name. That's fine. I say, I want to correct the brand name, which was by mistakenly, it's a typo or wrongly mentioned. They did it within 2 hours. So that exactly I learned about it, within the Amazon. You have to talk like Amazon language. That's exactly the same thing happened with the brand only, the same case. Like, they have ineligible all advertising, all the sponsor. They say it's a sexual wellness product. We don't allow to market on Amazon. You're not allowed to do that. And I'm like, okay, I know that it is not allowed to do it on Amazon, but I know it is allowed to do in Canada. It is not in Amazon. In US, it's restricted, but not in Canada. I'm reaching the community forum. I'm doing blah, blah, blah for 1 month. They're like, we're not going to allow you to do it. I'm like, okay, I need to talk in a different way again. I tried on the second way. I telling them, here's this short screenshot. The Amazon guideline is saying that I should be allowed. I'm putting that, highlighted link over there. I'm sending them. I'm like, I should be allowed. And I also send them the competitors are doing the same thing. It's exactly the same product. And there is nothing restricted, nothing adult product over there. They did it within 1 day. So that is something what I learned. Any of our audience is having something listing issues, never give up. Because I've seen a lot of sellers, they are spending thousands of dollars to get the listing back when it is suppressed. When they are putting one keyword, it takes 1 month to get back, and they already lose their $1 million sales or $500,000 sales or $100,000 sales, and they already spent an agency at $20,000, $25,000, $5,000. I've seen that. I think so. The most important part here is how you talk with Amazon. There is always a solution until and unless something is hard block, the deactivation. There was one client is having some issue, like I've seen the post on LinkedIn, like they were using the middle name entire their life, and their business is of the first name, So Amazon is like, it's a different person, and they block the account. They are not putting it back. Like that owner have done a lot of stuff, talking to the agency, buying the lawyer, having the lawyer, and talking to the lawyer, but it's done. But that is something what I learned. When you have the issue within the Amazon, it's something you have to talk that language. You have to pick up the right person by doing 100 calls. If you have to do that, because you don't want to lose that. And once you learn that, it becomes quite easy. And that's why, yes, exactly. And that's why I say the news. Yeah, it's quite
Deepak, the challenge is always the same, right? It
right.
becomes so time taxing.
Right.
So there's a lot of little brands that if they're trying to use it, all that happens, and I know you know this because you've probably gone through too, but it's just
Yeah,
frustrating. It gets to the point
I
where you're
know.
just thinking, why am I doing this? Like,
But
why do
Right.
I even care? I
But
can't get through. Nobody seems to care there. I'm spending way more time than it's worth because I'm not getting anywhere anyway. And that's not just me talking. Like, I talk to a lot of people. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people do very well on Amazon, but most people, I swear to God, just struggle.
I
I
know.
think so. I think the thing, because I, it's a slight diversion, but I don't think so. Is
Right.
when we're in the age of artificial intelligence, we all use generative AI, and one of the number one struggles with AI is language, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
if you
Yes.
so everyone hates trying to create an image through AI because we speak a certain way and we sensorially reproduce things a certain way.
Right.
AI doesn't see it like that at all, right? And so if you don't learn how to tell AI how to do something, it can't do it. It produces shit results, right? And I'm hearing the
Exactly.
same thing here is
It sounds exactly like
but,
that.
but I think that
Right.
the point for our listeners is if you are looking for people or you're looking for skills or you're trying to figure out what you skill up on, maybe it isn't about someone who has like a marketing person is a marketing person. So what I heard from this is why I was trying to slow you down is I think like what I heard from you is fundamental marketing still applies here, right? Is if
Right.
you don't have great
Yes.
pictures, if you don't have good product descriptions, if you don't resonate with a consumer, doesn't matter where you put it, no
It's
one's
not
gonna,
gonna
no
work.
one's going to buy it.
It's
right?
not going to work. Yes.
And it's going to be really hard to fix.
But
Exactly.
that is a different, to me, those are two different things. It's
Two
almost
different
like
worlds.
you got to look after the marketing. So no person you hire is going to help you fix that if you don't have the right. You got to fix the marketing, and then what you need is when you're looking for an Amazon or a technical skill set, what you actually need is you need someone like a Deepak who's like, I actually think the master of Amazon is the wrong term. It's more like you need an Amazon translator.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Like someone who
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
understands the words.
Totally. But
that
I think you need to
ask
start
or
with
the
the
things.
Deepak.
Yeah.
The problem I think a lot of people do is they go on, like I would do. You go on, you think you know what you're doing, you put it on, you list it, you do all the things you do, you take all your pictures, etc. And now you've set it.
Right.
So now it's
Right.
created. Now, if
Yes.
there's any issues, if you've done anything stupid, good luck.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So
What happens, agencies will look at it. They don't give a shit about what you've done. All they want to tell you is you need to do $5,000 a month here, $10,000 a month here, blah, 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 blah. But the fact is,
and they have
you're
a formula.
spending against a
Yeah.
broken model. It's
Yeah,
not
they
going
have
to
a
work.
formula, right? Like they have a formula for how things are
Exactly.
done.
But they're not
whereas
looking at the
Deepak-
fundamental, which isn't going to work. You're going to piss
Exactly.
money away.
And also, Phil, you're talking about, the advertising taking the another way. I totally understand, having the advertising data, you can actually, after that, you can identify your listing is not working. You cannot just say that, right? You can only say once you have the data, whether I'm getting 10,000 impressions, I'm getting 0.01% click-through rate only. So there's a problem with the image and I'm getting conversions below 3 or 4 or 2 or there's something problem with the bullet points. People are not able to communicate well with my product. So that's exactly what I see. They are going both on the same way, but I don't recommend having the higher marketing until unless you resolve this part, this fundamental part over that, and that is the most important. And I've seen even if you have heard about the unauthorized seller, there are some brands you have seen I had a very crazy experience. I was working with one brand. We are selling a product, so there are 3 sellers. They are selling the same product. We are the brand owners. We don't have the gated because we don't even allow. We haven't done the gated before. So they are selling way better than what we are selling.
Right.
we are having the buy box at 60%, 70%. They're having the buy box of 90%. I'm like, what is happening? Why they are selling our item? When I reach out to Amazon, they are selling, they have the purchase bill. They are allowed. I'm like, I don't allow, because as a brand owner, we don't allow to resell our item. That's properly. So they are like, you have to do the gating with the ASIN. You have to restrict your ASIN, and then only they will need your approval before they list your product. And that hurdle is quite a big hurdle. I've
It's
seen that
huge,
experience.
buddy.
It's a huge, even you do little mistake, they're gonna restrict your brand registry account. That happened with me also. They're like, okay, you're not allowed to even create the case. You're done. You're exactly stop over there. So that's why I always say is that, and even within the new sellers, what I see the most important thing, when you're launching some product, for an example, if I'm doing a $50,000 sale, just imagine this year, next year my goal should to not to get another 50,000, which is okay, and my goal is $100,000, 200,000, which is good. But out of that $50,000, I just want to see how many people are coming back.
That's what you want, the repeats.
Repeat. If you're not, if just, I think with the Amazon, you can do the reorder coupon. You're just throwing them the coupon. You're just telling them, hey, come back, because we are providing a $5, 5% or $10%.
Right.
So I always recommend do 5%, not more, because if you do more, there's a possibility they're going to come back. But I'm doing 5% or 10%. You just want to see how many people are coming back. If they are not coming back, something you need to look into fundamentals again, not in terms of the listing, in terms of the product development. Go back again and see that what is the problem. That exactly comes as the review analysis come in a place. I've seen big sellers, they're like, I don't care about the review, I want the sales. I'm spending $1, I got $3. I'm like, okay, that is good, but you need to work on your reviews, because you have a 4-star. I recommend having the 4.3 to 4.5 star, the reviews over there. It should not be less than that. But when you check on your reviews, when you do the analysis within the reviews, you will find that within the 1-star or the 2-star, what exactly the problem is in the product. So you should be ready for the second version of the product. You should be ready, have that mindset in your mind that I'm not going to stick to one of my product. I'm going to reform the product until and let's get the good reviews over there. Something need to be changed. And I experienced one time with one of the client. We had almost 5,000 or 6,000 reviews. I pulled the 1-star reviews, 2-star reviews. I did some Excel formula. I find out what is the problem, what exactly the issue, and that I use some of the keywords like, the delivery issues. And you find some of maybe a 10 or 15 keywords, you create the cases with them, and you tell Amazon, hey, this is something should be removed. This is not my problem. This is FB issue. This is Amazon issue. And this is a customer is doing this and this, or maybe not the customer, but the Amazon, if you're doing the FB. They will, if you force them to do it, even the 10 reviews goes out from 1,000, there's a high chance you show up high in the ranking. You are removing some negative stuff over. So these are the small parts, most fundamental pillars that the sellers are ignoring within the listing space.
You know what it is though, Deepak? It's time again. For most people, if Amazon is your whole world, right? Potentially you can spend that sort of time to do it. For many people, it is one retailer. And I know they don't consider themselves a retailer. They're full of shit. They're a retailer, right? They operate worse than a retailer. So they're a retailer. But you got one retailer, you've got hundreds. And the hundreds are so much easier to deal with. But this one that's a pain in the ass causes you the most problems because, to your point, shitty reviews. It's all of it. But the time it takes for small companies to do, like Amazon is 24/7. It's a big job. And it's hard to hear your point. Like Phil said, the language of AI, you've given examples. Who knows that stuff? Normal people are just thinking, I should
Isn't that the point of this? Deepak does.
I know. We need 700 Deepaks.
Even the Phil, you were talking about the AI stuff, what you are delivering, you're getting the result back. Like I had the experience doing the headshots. I was doing some professional headshots. There's a headshot pro or something. I was using that AI. I haven't delivered them the right photos because I was not having the good selfies. So I delivered them that photos. I'm getting a very creepy result. I'm like, what is happening? Why people are saying it's good? I'm getting very creepy result. I reach out to the support team. They told me, because you have not delivered the right thing, the AI will not respond to you with the right thing. This is what's happening. So that's where the human intelligence has to be come in between before the AI works that way, So that is very important.
Look, to me, it's not different than Excel, right? Like when we first started using Excel way back when, if you sum everything in your columns, you get a total sum. But if you have subtotals in there, guess what? Your volumes, your sum at the end is double the. It's great. It's a great number.
Look at it thinking, wow, I doubled in a month.
You didn't do the math. Right? That's not Excel's fault. That's because you don't know what you're doing, right? So for me, this is kind of the same thing. So I actually honestly, we may have had people hang up just because they have PTSD from like what are you talking about? But I think it's really important because I think what you're talking about, the language of Amazon is really important, right? Because we don't have that.
Yes.
You really
Right.
can't.
It's
You really
Phil,
can't,
it's near
you know.
impossible, and because
Yeah. Yes.
I've experienced it personally over the years with things. I own the brand,
Right.
and I'm having to fight for brand registry. You're thinking there is no logic in this. It's
Yeah.
mine. It's in law, in the world of other commerce, the discussion's over.
That's
It's
finished
mine.
because you are the owner. You're done. You should not
Case
allow
closed.
anyone to.
Why are we even talking about this? But with them, it's a fight. You're thinking, why am I having to fight for this? I own the stupid brand. It's not yours to tell me what to do with it. I'm telling you what I want done. It's mine. And but it's Phil, to your point, it's all those issues because you're thinking,
That's right.
how much clearer can I make this? You can't have brand registry. And you're thinking, it's impossible for me not to have it. They shouldn't have it because they don't own it. When you're arguing this, you're thinking, I don't know why I'm even arguing this.
Exactly. It should be a very quick, even if someone comes into the place, you create a case, boom, it should be done. It should be eliminated right away and have
Here's
that.
my incorporation letters. I own the trademark. Case closed.
Yeah. So what we do, we got their numbers, we got their details, and under the table we are sending letters to them. You please just have your pull up all your listing on Amazon. And it doesn't work sometimes. It does work sometimes, but Amazon is doing it the right way. There's a permanent stop over there. You cannot do it. Finish. So yeah, I totally see that. And even there's one client I was talking yesterday. They have some unusual issue. If you have learned, if you ever read about the inventory stuff, like you put more inventory over there and you don't sell much, you don't have the velocity or traffic, you pay the higher fees. And if you have the low inventory and you have a really good product, and once you're out of stock, you're done. You go again back to your organic stuff. You do have to walk everything. So that's why, like anything goes low stock, just raise the price and keep it not selling and low selling unless you have the stock back and you again make up the same price. But the client was saying, before I was sending my product to one inventory location, now Amazon want me to split the locations.
I know.
So what Amazon is doing is just taking the money from the sellers and just that is something the new sellers having the real issue, because what the sellers is doing right now, because of this particular issue, the sellers is sending a lot of inventory at the start because they don't want it to have the fees occurs on the second. And the seller is not selling that much item. So at the end, they're paying the fees to Amazon. So you take this or this, you are still paying at the end to Amazon. That's what I've seen with the shipment issues that the most of the sellers are. And there are some solutions like lanyards, but those are for the big sellers who are making something $1 million sales, $500,000. So for not the new one, they're having that particular issue. And some of the sellers are seeing they're selling on Shopify. They're using the Amazon FBA to ship that product for the Shopify orders. So they are doing the multi-channel fulfillment.
I've seen that too. That's
quite
a really clever way to do it, right? Like, because you're going to get some synergy.
So that is
another way. Yeah.
That is something. Can you, to your question, when you're running an organization, you don't have time. I think the multi-channel fulfillment quite be a really good fit in the Amazon.
Very clever.
It's really clever. You just got the order. You're telling Amazon, ship it to my customer. You have the customer, you have the database, but you're not taking care of that operation part over that. But
the logistics part, handy then the logistics. I totally get, and I know they're offering that now too. So you can step sort of into their world, but not into their world, where you still control your side. But I think people need to understand, like, see, I've done both. Like, I've been on Amazon for years. So I've had seller central accounts. I deal with vendor central accounts, which no longer exist, but we have them. Right. And they're just, it's just really problematic, buddy. I mean, and this is why Phil, he's always laughing because he knows I'll get so agitated with it. And it's just because it's near impossible for logical thought to work in Amazon.
Right. Especially
and I know that sounds so stupid to say, but it's true. If I have to sit and spend hours trying to figure out how to word this so this fucking computer will get back to me and make sense, it's really, really hard because, again, you're either, you're running a brand, or you got so much shit going on, and this one customer who you really want is nothing but a problem. And it's impossible to get to, we have it all the time. You get debits for this, debits for that. And you're thinking, we got one the other day. We need to credit this. It didn't receive. And you're thinking, no, it did. You got the signature. I can show you. But who do you talk to?
Right.
But
Right.
most people do after the
Yeah.
50
And
and they just pay it or whatever, and anyway, it's just really, really frustrating. So I'm really happy you're on, because I think if people just, to me, what the first thing people should do, don't put anything onto Amazon, quite frankly, until you either talk to Deepak or someone like Deepak. So when he would send everybody your way, like, you are the guy for us, but you need to talk to somebody before you start. Make sure your title is good and
good.
correct.
Yeah.
Make sure the pictures are correct. Make sure your bullet point makes sense. Start
Right.
there. Don't move. Don't hit enter, submit until someone checks it, because you will save
Exactly.
yourself 80% of your going forward problems.
Right.
If it's your brand, don't
Right.
do anything until you get the brand registry or whatever it's going to take. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
Kenny,
it's
I agree. Yes.
fixed once it's in the game.
Right. I agree to your point, even saying that, like before even you spend much, like, sometimes I've seen that mentality over the sellers. They are ready to spend $5,000 on the PPC, but they are not ready to spend a 200 or $300 on the main image using the Pick4, all that poll stuff,
Because
all
they don't
that
find any
things.
value in that, Deepak. You know what? It's
Exactly.
easy. Amazon's easy. You just put the picture on, put some bullet
You're
points
done.
and go. And you're thinking, no.
Well, that
Exactly.
is the marketing, right? Like the marketing is exactly that, right? Is, oh, anybody can do this, right? But
Right. Yeah.
it's not really true.
Listen, we learned the hard way. We didn't do great descriptions, etc.
Yeah.
We were lucky for some things. We did get buy box at the time, and we were doing okay. But again, it's near impossible. Just go with that, and even if it's not true. But it's near impossible to fix things. Do it
Yeah.
right the first time. You are better off to spend $1,500, $2,000 per SKU to fix it properly up front than worrying about, I'm going to spend $5,000 a month with an agency to do what? It's not going to find it anyway.
And that's exactly what happened. One of my clients making $10 million sales on Amazon, and suddenly his advertising got ineligible because of only one single keyword. What I say with the app Canada is like brightness within the skincare. It doesn't allow to do that. The brightening, what I say, which says that it doesn't allow because you are using some of the ingredients. When I say the brightening, you cannot claim that, and you're done. You're like
Over.
you over, and he is losing that particular things. That's why I agree with that exactly. When you go back and when you learn that things at the very first, but even with the Amazon, it's something very difficult to identify what keywords is going to break you apart.
I know.
It's quite difficult. You don't understand when you put, even I was working like when I work with a brand, I always check on, is this a keyword that people are using? Is this a keyword people are using as an exact frame on the title? If a lot of people are using, it's not something I should use it, but it's something I'm more confident.
You're safe that you should be okay. But again, that the discipline that takes, let me reiterate it then. It's the same thing. Talk to somebody like a Deepak before you hit submit entry. Get me an ASIN. Because again, once you hit the submit, if you've made the stupid little mistakes and haven't done just a 10-minute keyword search, it's going to be a fucking disaster to fix.
Right.
So again, but again, I'm speaking from experience, and we've learned this the hard way.
Right.
Is yes. I wish I wasn't so rushed to get it up there, because it's so easy to do Amazon. And then, we're going to get the picture and the listing, and then we're going to go spend all this money on the clicks and the bullshit. And you're thinking, you did it half-assed. It's too hard to fix. Take your time. Do it properly. You'll get a lot of organic. It'll work. And then if you want to do your pay it for your advertising or whatever you want to do, absolutely. But at least it's going to work.
Exactly. And don't rush. And there is a feature within the Amazon which can use the A/B testing. You're free to do that. Just do the A/B testing. I've seen that with the A/B testing, when you are using some of the keyword, it doesn't hit right away when you do the hard listing update. So Amazon is somewhere you're testing something. So we're not gonna kick you hard. So, but compared to what you're already doing, so you do the A/B testing with image, bullets, and so that is images and everything. So yeah, there's always a way for it. But yeah, I agree with your point. Once everything is complete, then you throw some traffic and you understand how it's converting, because that's why I always say getting the traffic should be not the issue for any seller. You're good to go. You spend $1, you're gonna come up. You spend $2, you're gonna come up. You are getting the traffic. But what does really mean if it's not converting?
If it's not converting, you're just making Amazon and your agency rich.
Exactly.
You're not doing anything for yourself. So again, all you're doing is putting back, your good money against no results. And Amazon's not going to care, and nor is your agency.
Right.
It's just they're not. But it's
Yeah.
not going to be good for you. So I really so happy you came on because, and I know why Brian loves you.
Exactly. And Kenny, there's one more, Phil. There's one other things what I see. Whenever the new sellers, like whenever I pitch to the client or I want to, I never see myself that I'm going to be the person who's going to work in with them. I always pitch in a way that to whom you are working with, whether it's me or anyone, make
Whatever.
sure you know the what the agencies and anyone is doing. The reason is whenever you are doing some PPC kind of stuff or organic, like I've seen the client, I know they definitely have no or mediator knowledge of having that. Like never ask like something. I won't say you should ask how much sales, how much the sales growth, but always ask what is the sales rank position right now. Where I'm having the 500 keywords, I'm having the 100 keywords, I'm having just 5 keywords. I was at 70 number. Whether it got like I'm coming to 65, I'm good even with the 69. But it should progress. You should ask your agency where I am, where is my position with the organic things, and if it is not moving, what we are doing.
Then there's something
the
wrong. If
next-
you're 10,000 out of 100,000 forever, why aren't you
Right, right.
9,000? Why didn't you get to 8,500? Why didn't you get to 2,000? That's what you should be
Exactly.
looking at because
That
the
should be-
sales will come from that. Otherwise, you're just spending a lot of money to stay at 10,000.
Right, and you don't see where's your brand position exactly. And I've seen the clients are looking for the echoes, that's advertising cost of sales. But even I was the person at the start. I was looking, I'm spending $10,000 into sales, I'm getting $20,000. Hey, yippee, I'm happy, you know. But if I'm doing the 10,000, I'm getting the 10,000, I'm like sad. No, that's not the case. You should not be sad. You're getting 10,000, you're doing the 10,000. Okay, you're at 100%. But look at that, how it affecting your organic sales. If it is not affecting, then you have to do tweak. So that means you should always look at the overall account revenue, not just the advertising. Advertising is the piece, is a support which is helping your organic, because your main goal is organically coming on the first place. And that's what there's one game I really don't want you to share this, but I've seen the Amazon's playing another game is having their own private label
Always.
brand on the top. I found in
Always.
all the categories, they have the control. Look at the images. It's just a single image. Their bullets are not so strong, but look at that. It's very short and they're always on the top and they're
They
doing
own the platform, buddy. You're competing
million.
against the guy who owns the store.
So that sometimes I'm not scared about the PPC, but when I see the private label owned by Amazon, I'm like, oh, here's a catch. Here's gonna the challenge is gonna coming up over there. So that is something the mindset when you look at the tacos compared to the advertising cost of sales, you know. So that is most important. And I think so nowadays what I see the sellers have to think out of box. Like, you know, if you heard about the Amazon algorithm, the new algorithm, it's more focused on how someone is talking to your product out of Amazon, how they are doing the Instagram, how they are doing the TikTok, how they are doing the joint brands. If you heard about that, the influencer marketing, the Levanta and all that stuff. Now Amazon find out, okay, this product is not only popular, it might be not so popular on Amazon, it's quite more popular out of Amazon. Let's throw this because people don't know about this. Let's throw this one so people will buy more of stuff. So that is something what I've seen. The UCG contents people are missing, the sellers are missing. You should have influencer and even the brand story. If you heard about it, something nowadays what you see, you like the brand is doing really good, brand and tablet, they are doing good, they're marketing themselves. Because when you're owning the brand, you just don't want to market your text, you don't want to just market your graphics, you have to market yourself. You have to come on front of the video, you have to tell the world, hey, we are the people, this is a brand story and we are selling this product. Most of the brands and products are selling because of their brand owners. I've seen that, how they speak, what they speak about, what are the concerns, how they connect. So that's why I always recommend, like, you know, going in front of the camera and doing the YouTube things, doing the Instagram things, connecting with the people, you know, that is the most important. Showing your brand story, how you started, what you're doing, and that really helps you to,
That's a tough one though, right? Because I think, you know, like Kenny and I are out everywhere. And so for us, this comes naturally, but I feel like for a lot of brand, I can say this as a marketer, right? Is there are brands that I've worked with before where you're kind of going, you should be out there, right? Like you're the right personality to be out there, and they hesitate, right? Because they don't want, it's not something they want to do, right? So sometimes that becomes an issue because you realize like,
exactly, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You see that person and you remind me of that particular person. And when you see, like, even I suggest sellers just do the heat maps for your Amazon landing page, like the product page, heat maps for your Shopify page or whatever, the WordPress. The reason, like, I normally use for the brand, the clarity for the Microsoft, you come to know about what exactly your customer are doing on your site, where they're clicking more, how they're going. You get to see their videos. That's an amazing tool. I never, like, this is something very amazing. You get to see your client, what they're doing. You cannot communicate, but you can communicate in the sense of the person is just in front of you. That's why Brian was told, like, we had a conversion. I'm like, I was asking Brian, if someone is coming, 100 people are coming to your product, your stall, how many you gonna convince? It's like 50%. I was like quite shocked. Okay, great. That is
That'd be
offline.
amazing.
That when you do online, it's not going to be a 50, not even a 10. It's going to 2, 3, and it's still amazing. That is something, because your intent.
3% is amazing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that is amazing. That's a great one, because your
Yeah.
intention is coming to your site in digitally is quite not so shoppable. It's not so intense when you meeting the person, when you're connecting with that. And that's exactly you have to attain, or you have to do with the social metrics. You have to do joint brands, you have to connect with the influencers, like the affiliate, the Amazon associate and everything. And Kenny, I tell you, Amazon can be the biggest and really the good friend of the platform. But the thing is, I think so what the sellers are doing is the mindset, what you're talking, the mindset, and they're scared of the things that can happen. The mindset is something like getting the profitability at the start, because Amazon games start at after 6 or 1 or 2 year, depends upon your brand, how you're doing that. Once you reach the 1500 or 2000 reviews, having the 4.3 star, you will be hit like anything, because you have that ground, you have that position. You're not going to let others to come into that place. You're going to pay it, you're going to do the organic ranking or top pages, and you see your profit at the start. You definitely not going to see your profit over there. But yeah, it's a very most important to understand some of the metrics, some of the data, that whether it's really good to continue with this product or whether not to spend too much time, because that decision is very crucial. It's very important. Even that particular thing, even the cash flow also, I've seen the sellers don't have cash flow. Someone starting a business with $10,000, and your supply is saying you have to give me a $2,000 at the front, 20%, and you're going to give me a 80% at the last. When you sell on Amazon, you're paying a lot of stuff, FBA fees, referral fees, storage fees, advertising, days, graphics, and all that. And at the end, you get a sale. Amazon is going to hold back your money for, I think so, 2 weeks, additional 5 days, going to be 21 days. And your supplier wants that money at the very start, 20%.
If you're on Vendor Central, my friend, 90 days.
I've seen that 90 days. And the cash, I think so, in Vendor Central, there's so many chargeback issues, the hidden issues.
It is absolute insanity.
And you don't have the control with the Vendor Central. You don't have the price control.
Brutal.
It's bad. Like those
and
brands.
Seller Central, the problem is the other side, right? Is you don't get the preferential treatment necessary that you should invest. Like it's just a difficult plot. I know everybody thinks it's so easy, and it's like Phil said before, it is really easy to shop.
Right.
100%, mindlessly easy to shop.
Amazing.
It is a bitch to deal with if you're on the other side. To shop, like I do. I've got on my phone, 3 seconds, delivered.
And if you don't like it, get it written.
It's sent it back. So easy. But to do all the stuff that I get, and this is why I think it's really important that people, especially if you're not on Amazon yet, and you need to be. I don't think there's any choice.
I
really don't think you got no choice. You have to be on it. But my God, spend the time with someone like a Deepak. Trust me, it's so hard to fix things in that monster. Try to do it right up front. It would just save you so much aggravation and grief, like so much.
Yeah,
I wish I had met you 3-4 years ago. You would have saved me so much time and effort, and I probably wouldn't be such a bitter, cynical man. Be dealing with this.
So bitter. Yeah.
Oh, I hate Amazon. Oh my God.
No, but bro, Kenny, I think so. That's a game. The reason I love Amazon because of this situation, because I love to fight with that. That's why, because that's exactly my work to do that. But yeah, the Amazon is really a great platform. That's I told you, it's a long-term platform. It depends upon how you really want to go with that. Once you have that struggle in that place, when you understand what keywords I should avoid, once you understand how the title works, how you do the mobile optimization, once you understand the fundamentals and everything. But yes, here's the cash flow. The reason you have to put a lot of money at the start. A lot of you have to come off the Amazon gonna put your pocket totally empty at the start, compared to so when you do with the Shopify things. So but the thing is, never put everything on the same basket. You should always have your own site, whether it's a WordPress, Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever, but you should have that and try to do some different part. I'm saying the usage is like If you have the $1,000, don't just spend on Amazon PPC. Keep it at 10 times divide $100. Spend on $100 on Amazon, spend on Instagram, spend on TikTok, spend on Google Ads, spend everywhere, and get up having the same duplicate data over there and see what is working for you, how you're getting the data, and spend $1,000 in the next round to that particular what is working.
Right.
So that is something. That is something the easiest way and the most effective way. What I'm currently what me and Brian is doing right now. That is something like we stopped doing that something because we were doing aggressive marketing at the start. We stopped doing it because we were spending a lot. We are getting a lot of traffic also, but it's not converting. So me and Brian like, okay, let's work on the conversion part. Let's stop doing that. Not to pause it, make it the lower beat. We just want to show up, but don't want to show up anywhere because people are not converting. Let's show them the another way. Let's do the UCG. Let's do the affiliate. Let's create the videos. Let's do it a different kind of things where we can make the changes and see how it. Let's do the A/B testing, and that is something is going to be help. Even I was talking about the cash flow. I think so. Amazon do have something. You get your cash to your account within 24 hours, but that is some eligibility stuff. Yeah, that's exactly. You need to have that.
You gotta pay. You know what?
Yeah.
It's 1% 90. You can get it in 30, but now it's 5% 30. If you want it in 14, it might be 10 14.
Right.
It's all doable. Anything's doable, but they've got you. And I think that's one of the things I wanted to even ask you again. So let's say you are, you've got your product, you've got your own web page. Is how do you leverage Amazon? Again, I think you sort of talked about like how do you leverage Amazon maybe for the FBA portion, or so that maybe the fulfillment doesn't, like there's still ways to use Amazon, I guess, without getting buried in the monster of Amazon. Is that not sort of correct?
Right. Yes.
So
yeah.
I can use them to fulfill maybe, like sort of like you said, whether it's it's not cross-docking. It's like
it's a multi-fulfillment. Like you're getting the orders on your web page and you're using the Amazon. I think so that's a right way if you don't want it to go into your operation part and you just want Amazon. And I think so it's a really great way.
Is it complicated to do that? Is it hard to do?
No. It is no complications. If you're coming with 10s or 15s order or 20 orders, that is quite manual you can do, but there's automations. It does automatically and sending the orders. But that is what's most important. You should have that inventory on your Amazon over that, and that is something most important. Go for it. But and sometimes you need to check on how it goes to your customer. It doesn't it is going directly from Amazon, because if you're letting know Amazon is sending, it's gonna go with the Amazon packaging stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't confuse
somebody.
You should have that transparency, because I remember when I was doing the drop shipping. So instead of suppliers, I was getting the order on Amazon. eBay, as soon as I get the eBay order, I let Amazon to ship the order. So sometimes the eBay customer saying to me, "Hey, why I'm getting the product from Amazon? I ordered on eBay." I'm like, you ordered the product, you got the product. That's fine. I'm gonna skip the invoice in between. I'm not going to send you the invoice, but that is something, not the transparency. What I see, you have to be very transparent with your customers and honest about that. So like in terms of everything. But that can be really good. But yes, that is also can answer to your question. That depends upon when you do your web page sales, you see the higher profitability compared to what you're doing on Amazon. It's a big difference over there, because Amazon is definitely forcing you for the FBA, because that's exactly, you get the prime tag. There is another way to do a prime tag, SFP, seller fulfilled prime, but it's something very difficult to maintain on. But on your own website, you have the control over what logistic you want to use, or like how much you want to charge for the delivery, and everything you have control. Like you have control for everything. So it depends upon how you want to go for it, and it depends how much rate, how much sales you are getting. If you're getting hundreds and millions and thousands of the sales, I prefer to go myself instead of doing the Amazon. I don't want them to give the money, and instead I do myself, and I'm gonna get good deals from the logistic if I'm giving them a really good.
Well, if you're getting to $100 million in sales, you can get good logistic rates from anybody.
Anybody.
You're in that 500,000 to $1 million. You're not big enough to get you're not going to get FBA rates from FedEx.
No.
You don't have enough weight. So I think what you're trying to do is you're using Amazon then at that point as, I'm a $100 million player, but $1 million sales, I get $100 million FedEx or UPS rates.
Exactly.
That sort of mentality, right? I guess I never understood. I still don't. I mean, we'll have to talk offline, because I'm curious to understand that sort of side of it too. Because again, the problem is I can hate them as much as I want, and I can be as frustrated as I want with it. You're stuck with them. you need Amazon because
Right.
it is outside of Google. It's the largest search engine. I
Oh
think
yeah,
maybe
you cannot neglect.
larger. What? Who cares? But the bottom line, it's the only search engine I've got that can close a transaction. It's
That's
huge.
right.
It's
Mhm.
huge. And people
That's
need to understand that that's what Amazon really is. It's an awesome search engine with a transactional back end. Google is a wicked search engine. It doesn't do the transaction. That's why Amazon's so critical.
That's
How
why.
do you play with these people so that you can walk out without leaving your children and your house behind?
Right, exactly. And the field was talking about the AI. Even I think so. What I see, like just 4 years different within the Amazon, you see a big difference how people are, the way the people are shopping is been it's been the same kind of. It's going to be a different in the future. You see the voice search. Like right now, you are optimizing your things as a keywords what people are typing on. Now you need to think you're changing how people speak about your product on your
Right.
Amazon because it's quite different when you speak versus when you type. So that is something the voice search is something going there. With the AI, what I see next 2 or 5 years, I even say 2 or 3 years, you got to see a lot of AI tools coming in. The people are using those who are actually not using them. It's gonna get behind because that's what the Kenny Ward was talking about. Your company, you have a lot of things to handle. You don't want to. You either have the in-house people to handle your PPC, but there are some softwares already in the market where you just say them, hey, I want the echoes of 20%. This is what the $200 I want to spend. Rest you do it. I'm going to be the person who's going to come in between, check the data if I want to do some random change. That is something what I see the future of e-commerce, where a lot of things the artificial intelligence is going to be handling the same way what the field were talking about, what you're putting up the data. That
Right.
exactly going to get up. It's not something you just do and forget and rest. I never say something is you forget and rest. It's not going to work for you exactly over that. But right now within the Amazon, I think the best thing I'd recommend is having your fundamentals ready, keep your listing up. You just make sure it's right. And I won't say do the PPC. Start with the PPC, understand the data, do the broad, do the phrase, and see, and making sure you have the negative keywords in the place because somewhere it's very important. You don't want your a lot of money go out of your pocket and you're spending into something people are looking for another brand and they're not gonna buy high
Right.
to buy your brand. And second most important thing, when someone is looking into some of the brand, just try to show up in the product page. Like in the bottom there, when someone is looking into one of the product, in the bottom you see the sponsor ad. Try to show up over there. Try to do that. Spend less, but see that because once someone is looking for this heavy popular product, and when someone buy your product into their from their page, it's tell the Amazon. It's like it's a great part of the Amazon. Hey, someone is coming to this product, is buy your product, so I'm gonna show more your product often to that page, so you convert more.
No, I totally agree. I love that because I use that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, so that really helps in the cross targeting and everything. It does help. And once you have that ready, start doing the PPC and just go out of the Amazon and try to gather a lot of traffic and just send it to Amazon. Do the TikTok. I just told you, putting $100 here and see that what is working and don't rush. Like I don't think so. Amazon is skyrocket. You cannot get rich because it's impossible. I've seen that a lot of people are making $100,000. You're gonna make $200,000, but they never talk about the expenses. They only talk about the revenue they're making.
Yeah.
Look at the revenue or something, which is really good. Even having the 100%, which is quite good. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I think so. Understanding is very important. You just not let others people to handle unless you get on the same day. Hey, how much we are getting? So that's why I always look for like keyword things using. I've seen the Amazon sellers what they do. They use a lot of tools. A bunch of tools, like for example, Helium Trail, Zone Guru, Data Dive, they sell Salik. I don't think so. I have used all the tools. Then I came into conclusion I'm going to use the one tool, and I'm master it, and I'm going to learn about it, and I'm go deep dive into it, and I'm going to get what because not using all tools because all of them have quite similar features what the Helium is providing, so and so. So that is something somewhere I've seen that let's stick to one tool, understand the tool, and get it to that particular things because I think so those are the most important part you get to see, like learning about your competitors and everything part. But yeah, I always go with the fundamentals because even the big brand go back to fundamentals, and there are a lot of hacks and tips that you got to see. Like one of the strange tips I got to know is about cloning your site. For example, you are selling this product, you clone it multiple times. I've heard about it. Someone says you have to do a lot of stuff very out of the box. I think so. In these generations, you don't need to think like that. You mimic someone. You're okay with that. but you do execution, which is very important. When someone's they said mimicking is not good, I say mimic it really good. If someone is working for someone, there's a possibility it's going to work for you. Just do
Absolutely.
that. Why to scare about? And just do the execution. If it's not working for you, some other person is doing
but they figured it out, right? So you
But
should
if it's working, it's working.
yeah.
it's working. I don't think so that makes something very different. Sometimes you don't need to really complex the things, make it
No.
very easy, so that is something I learn about it. And I always learn from the clients, when I work with the clients, I communicate and I learn from them, because I'm the online guy, not the offline guy, and offline is a big channel too. It's a lot of things people are doing, that particular thing. But yeah, that's a thing. And within the Amazon there are a lot of things to share for sure. I think so the full day is going to be shorter.
Wow.
Young man, we're out of
I could talk to you for hours.
We could do this for hours.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the like, because I think we're gonna have there are probably a lot of people listening to this that are gonna have more questions. What's the best place to reach you?
So what right now?
Maybe LinkedIn might be the best place to find you.
The LinkedIn is definitely the best place to find me. But right now, under my table, I'm building two things. One is my personal site. That exactly is going to be my personal blog over there. And second is I'm building the online seller community. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pass the shortest contents what I can to the sellers, the new sellers, which is in terms of the AI and in terms of anything. Like, I've seen, have you ever seen your inbox? You have a lot of newsletter coming in, a bunch of the text. Have you ever tried to read that? Like, like I, as a seller, I'm starting with that. I'm like, I never get into the ad. Like I have almost 100 line of text in newsletter. So what I'm trying to create a community with a very short form of the most effective way, how I can pass that content to the sellers, how they can use it, and how they can grow that business. So that is the another part. But yeah, the personal blog is
I think I would like to do more with you then. I think that Phil and I, maybe there's a way for us, even Phil, like if it's, a fast thought once or twice a month where it's a 10-minute YouTube Deepak show, not a bullshit hack or trick, a legit. We can come, Phil, with a question. Here's like our product. You tell me, Deepak, this is what I want to achieve. Tell me how I would do it. And maybe we can help you do this. Exactly. So I'll tell you the truth, like honestly, I think a service like yours is critical because I've struggled and suffered.
I can see that. I can feel that, because until you use that phrases, you understand how you struggle with that.
I'm sorry. It's really, really difficult. And it shouldn't be as complicated as it is. But if you go with the mentality that I probably did too, you need it. It's so easy. And you just go, you're going to get screwed in the end. It's not going to work for you long term. And it's really, again, it's so hard to change. So better to spend the money up front, getting it done properly, then do your clicks and all that bullshit later. Get the fundamentals down. And I don't think people really appreciate when we say that. So I would love to be, maybe Phil and I, sort of a conduit to help you get to those people. Quite frankly, for us, I'm going to learn a lot, which is great for me. So I'm going to, you know what I mean? I think it could be something very cool to do.
For sure, definitely. I reach out to you regarding to that. And what you mentioned about that, I've seen our sellers, they keep switching the people they work on their stores. I've seen that they reach out to me before they already work with the 5 or 6.
Telling, I know a trick, I know a hack, I know a trick.
Exactly. Yeah, there is no hack or tip you can ever do that, because every category, every product, every packaging, every different, it's totally different. Exactly. There's nothing like going to tell you that I'm going to do $1 million sales to year. If something is doing to, I'm going to sit beside to them and I'm going to sit 12 hours a day and I'm see that how you're doing it. It is a possible way. I'm not saying it's not possible. Definitely. But it has to go with some process over there. And that's why I'm building that particular thing. I really wanted to build, and I really wanted to help the small and medium type business, how you can do that. Because I think so it's very bad idea to switch into a lot of people, because every people have the different mentality to work on your stores. And trust me, like honestly, I say that, even people are listening, like, trust me, no one cares about until unless really that is the most important. No one really do cares about your brand. If someone is working for a 400 brand, 200 brand, or 300 or 50 brand, you have to make sure you take the responsibility of your own brand and see the data and how you goes from there.
No different than the offline world, my friend. No different.
I think the problem is to, like, and then we will end this, and then I'll stop the recording so we can talk some more. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I do think, like, you know, the big thing about switching around is, like, you really have to start all over again, right?
You always
Yeah.
start from
You
scratch.
just, you know,
Right.
yeah,
So
like,
you get
every
it,
brand
you
thinks,
climb into-
every contractor thinks the same. It's like, you know, whoever did it, they're not doing it the way I do it.
Yeah.
I'll help you, and then you got to start all over. You know, like, it's just, anyway.
You never get to the
So-
top of Everest if you can't get off base camp.
So
Right.
let's end this here, knowing that Deepak's going to come back for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thanks a
coming
lot.
on the show, and then just stay on for a second while I hit end to this recording.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Kenny, and thanks everyone.
Thank you.